Patterson steers aside the game's first official shot on goal. When the teams met here during the regular season, Minnesota had a significant shots advantage for the weekend, 79 shots to 50. But it was a split, with Minnesota winning 5-1 on Friday night and Anchorage winning 1-0 in the Saturday game.
Well, and that's Anchorage is going to play that way. The Gophers should outshoot them again tonight, but when Anchorage is at their best, they're keeping all those shots, or most of those shots, from the outside. The Gophers have to find a way to get through and get traffic in front of the net and get those pucks on net.
Weirs flips it in from center. Puck played into the Minnesota zone on the far side. Hofel's clearing attempt. Didn't make it out of the zone. Bukestad tries to help. He finally does poke it to neutral ice, where Hofel grabs it for Minnesota. Hofel out of the reach of Hall, who was breaking up the slot. And the Seawolves clear to center. Bukestad, Hofel, and Larson. This top line combination for Minnesota. Barabal again will skate with White and Condon. That was the same combination we saw Saturday night in Bemidji. Hofel's onside at the line, tried to flip it ahead to Larson. He takes a hit from Quass, and the Seawolves got it out to neutral. Weirs in his own zone to the freshman Justin Hall. Across to Weirs, who rips it to the near side wall for Hofel. Hofel has to wait for White to get back on sides. Last 2 weeks he's been named the Rookie of the Week in the league. Grant fires, and Patterson deflects that out of
going up ice and created a lot of scoring opportunities and created a lot of goals on that Friday night's win.
Something that Dave Shayak, head coach for Anchorage, certainly noticed. Said he felt that they turned the puck over far too often and allowed Minnesota more chances on the rush than they probably have allowed in the 11 games since.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you have to get those line rushes, is off a turnover, off a transition. When Anchorage dumps the puck in, they're going to have guys back. You're not going to get outnumbered opportunities. But if you can get turnovers in the neutral zone or even in your defensive zone.
Regular season series, including the 10th seed, Bemidji State, going to the 3 seed Omaha. They went 3-0-1 against Omaha this season. Only game that's underway so far tonight is in Duluth. St. Cloud and Duluth tied 1-1, middle of the first period. David Eddy has just tied it for St. Cloud State. Patterson covers here. We're joined by a special guest, Zach Budish, one of the injured Gophers who's out. And nothing to show for the power play. Zach, it's a big weekend for hockey over in St. Paul as well. Have you been keeping one eye on the Hornets this weekend?
Yeah, I went to the game yesterday with a couple guys, and I've been keeping my eye on them tonight too. So hoping for the best for them, and hopefully they can win our state title.
Bragging rights perhaps on the line. You got to Duluth East, the opponent tonight. Cade Fairchild, a former Greyhound. Was that mentioned this week?
Yeah, you know, we know they're playing Blaine all week, so me and Buke said it kind of been going back and forth. And then last night when we figured out they're playing Duluth East, me and Cade have kind of been going at it a little bit today. But it's all fun and games. But you obviously want your alma mater to win, so I'm keeping a close eye on them like I have all year.
Centering pass, Patterson with a pad save, and he covers up. Zach, we thank you for spending some time with us. Good luck with the rehab.
They got to battle through it. It's playoff hockey. Everyone's talking about the intensity. And you're going to have to see that all night, all weekend.
10th of the year for Wiles. Grant and Quass assist on the Anchorage goal. Patterson has to make another save here. Anchorage with
a little bit better is continue to support one another in the offensive zone. Bukestad kind of ran out of time there. Didn't have someone to support him. They got to keep moving, keep cycling that puck. Now you get into the problem here, Anthony, where you get Alaska Anchorage as everyone back deep. It just gets a little bit tougher when they have a lead.
They played very well with a lead. The Gophers showed the ability to come from behind last weekend at Bemidji. They were down after one in game one, came back and actually held a lead before settling for a tie, then rallied from 2 goals down to win in overtime on Saturday night. Play in the Gopher zone. 2-0 Anchorage. First period goal by Wiles. Second period by Portwood.
Well, the good news, Anthony, there's a lot of time left here. The Gophers need to continue to use their speed, and they definitely need to pick up the intensity a little bit more. Play with a sense of urgency, playoff hockey. You can't have these defensive laps. I expect soon the Gophers to pick it up.
Pops
goal. Here, got a little break there. They almost got caught on a line change, but they need to keep it simple. Alaska doesn't have the talent that a lot of the teams do, so when they get the opportunity to attack in their own zone, they need to do that. Again, this goes back, penalty killing is all about intensity, hard work, and working together.
Weir's partially fanned on a clearing attempt. That allows Anchorage to set it up in the offensive zone. Spruill behind the net. Weir's played it around to the half board. Now he'll hand it off to Barabal. The Gophers are 2-on-2 shorthanded. 3-on-2 with Helgeson trailing. Barabal fires. It was blocked and never reached the net.
Well, they need something like that
for Minnesota.
Well, it's been a while, Anthony, because like we've been talking about how well they've been playing, but we've seen this before early in the year. The Gophers have been down and down at home. It is going to be a tough hill to climb, but they can do it. They've got the offensive firepower. They need to continue to work together. I think that's such a big, important factor, not to get down on one another. Stick together. Do the little things they've been doing the last 7 games that have prevented them from losing.
Cephas onside at the line, has his shot blocked. Weirs wraps one off the end wall. Gophers in their own end halfway through the second period, and the Seawolves have stretched their lead to 3. Patterson with a save. Rebound cleared to the near side boards.
You can just see the confidence that Anchorage has right in that.
Naslund tips it in. Should note that Patterson this week was named second team all WCHA. Quite an honor. First Gopher goaltender to be named among one of the all WCHA teams since Adam Hauser back in 2001. He was named third team that season. Hopeful at center, 2-on-2 with Bukestad. Dangerous pair for Minnesota. Hopeful's shot is blocked. Seawolves clear to center. Hall there for the Gophers. Weirs back to Hall. Hopeful for Hansen. Hansen's shot partially blocked. Hall hustles to the far point but cannot hold the zone. Gophers have to retouch after he plays it in. Tried to center, put it right on the stick of Parkinson, who carries to center, and that'll just about do it in the Gopher power play. Fairchild ahead to Howla. Power play is over. Hansen around the right side, then whistles one over the top of the net. Rebound caroms out to neutral. Weirs retreats there for Minnesota. Saratori has his pocket picked from behind. Gorov centers, and it deflects just wide. Saratori for Minnesota. It's the Anchorage line. Left it for Sacchetti. Back to Saratori. Saratori threw it out front. Kamal deflects. Miller there for Minnesota. To Weirs. Weirs long wrist shot, gloved and held by Kamal. All Minnesota since the Hansen and Ness goals.
Yeah, the momentum has definitely swung here. Weirs did a nice job here to make a little move to get away from that first defender. Kamal had a quick reaction there. I don't think he saw it until I got about halfway to him. They need to take any extra chances right now, but they do need to use their speed coming through the neutral zone.
In that game, Anchorage had just 11 shots in the first 2 periods, then got 10 in the third period. Fourth line shift for Minnesota. Saratori, Sacchetti, and Miller on the ice. Sacchetti battling in the corner. Clear to the line. Hall holds the zone for Minnesota. Big hit thrown by Saratori. Naslund dumps it in for Alaska Anchorage. Hall back after it. Weirs joins the battle. Weirs digs it loose. Well, he was taken down by Spencer. Cephas for Minnesota. To Miller at center. Back to Cephas as the Gophers change. Cephas.
Need to panic. Gophers just need to stick to what they've been doing when they've had the momentum, and that's use their speed, control the puck. They haven't had much in transition. Seawolves have done a good job of not turning that puck over the net.
Hopeful cross ice to Bukestad. Withstands a check. Hall at the point. A long one looking for a tip. Goes wide. Hopeful leaves it in the corner to Bukestad. Bukestad spins out of a check. Ran into Larson. And that allowed the Seawolves to get control long enough to clear. Cross dumps it in and goes off on a change. Gophers break out with Hansen up the right wing. Hansen with speed into the Seawolves. But Patterson with an easy pad save. Hall and Haddad battle in the corner. Howlett tries to dig it loose for Minnesota and does. Feeds Weirs behind the net. Kevin Weirs starts out of his zone. Weirs into the Anchorage zone. Weirs scores!
Well, there's an individual effort that you needed someone to step up. You said, who's going to be the hero? Weirs controls the puck, enters the zone, says, if you're gonna give me a chance to shoot it, I gotta take it. Head up, good shot over the shoulder. What a great rush for Kevin Weirs. And a good individual effort all the way up ice.
Third of the year for Kevin. Another answer in them. They were down 3. Came back to tie it. Now they're down once more.
Anchorage has a veteran group of players, an older group of players. It shows you're down by 3 or you're up by 3. You give 3 back, but they aren't going to quit. Keep working. They got the lead again.
White lost it in his skates at center. Kloss played it to the Gopher line. Lineweber circles the Gopher goal. Centered, intercepted by Weirs and wrapped out. This will be, no, they wave off the icing, saying it could have been played at neutral ice. Warner back in his own zone. Tonight only 22 shots on goal for Minnesota. Had 12 games in a row of at least 30 shots coming into tonight's game. White for Barabal, trying to get it back to White, but he was tied up. And the puck comes out to neutral. We're inside 4 minutes remaining. Fairchild centers, loose in the slot. Backhander goes just wide by Condon. Barabal in the corner, battling, kicks it loose, and the Seawolves intercept and come to center with Cameron. Cameron dumps it into the Gopher zone. He and Fairchild tangle there. Hopeful couldn't get it out. Kloss all alone, glove save, Patterson. Attacker for Minnesota. Barabal throws it behind the net. Takes the return pass. Centers for Haula. Barabal got it back and fires. That's blocked. Ness tried to play it in deep. Gellert off the wall but not out. Fairchild. 40 seconds to go. Centers for Hopeful. And it deflects into the netting. Face off.